This is the story of 3 rural women in different parts of India who are breaking out of their homes to do what women haven't done before. Bearing and rearing children, working around the house and in the fields, and doing whatever it takes to make ends meet. That's how one would describe the life and work of most rural women. That they're dependent on men and not their equals is an idea ingrained in their psyche. In 1992, the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act made sure that 33% of seats were reserved for women at the local government level. This aimed at empowerment and paving the way for the participation of rural women in social, political and economic fields. Nowhere was the changed law to have more of an impact than in the nature of running of the village panchayat. The panchayat has always been a male bastion. Panchayat literally means a meeting of 5 wise men. The sarpanch, the head of the panchayat, got progressively more and more administrative powers after independence. For instance, all government funding for village development occurs through the panchayat. The 73rd Amendment has paved the way for women to fight elections for the post of sarpanch. This has been received with mixed feelings. That women can be members of the panchayat, let alone be sarpanches, is so revolutionary a notion that most citizens haven't been able to come to terms with it. Some women sarpanches are mere props for their husbands. Others only appear to hold power. And then there are some who have done what many would have considered impossible. Transcending their traditional roles, they have dispelled the myth that women do not have political aspirations, that they cannot govern, and that they cannot be leaders. This is the story of 3 such women who have earned a reputation not only as formidable administrators, but also as leaders who have overturned decades of prejudice. Bena Chapra is a small fishing village in Bengal's Midnapur district. Archana Rai, the eldest of 7 brothers and sisters, was constantly balancing household chores with her schoolwork. Her father, a clerk in the village post office, earned a tiny salary. After school, she had no choice but to work to support the family. She gave tuitions. With what she earned, she sent her siblings to school. When her father died, she became the sole earning member of the household. Marriage was something Archana couldn't contemplate. What would happen to her family?
আমার বাবা পিয়ন ছিলেন, ডাক পিয়ন এই গ্রামের ইয়াতে। তো খুব কষ্ট করেছেন অতগুলো বাচ্চা। আমার মা এই সময় আমি পড়াশোনা করেছি, সেই সময় মানে নিজে সাইকেলটা বন্ধক দিয়েও আমার লোকের বাড়িতে রেখেও আমার বই কিনে দিয়ে আমাকে পড়াশোনা করেছে। মানে জেদ নিয়েই যে আমি মেয়ে হলো তাকে ছেলের মতো তৈরি করব, জেদ নিয়েই পড়াশোনা করি।
সেটা সামালছে, তাহলে ছেলেরা ওকেই মানে, ওই সংসার চালায়। ছেলেরা ওই দিদিই জানে, ছেলেরাও কোনোদিন দিদি বলে ভাবেন, ওরা ভাবে যে বড় দাদা। সেই জন্য ওর উপরে সমস্ত ভার আমরা ছেড়ে দিয়েছি।
টিউশনি করতে 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 আমি ওই একটু ওই এতে গেলাম, ওই রাজনীতি, ওই মহিলা সমিতি করতে পারলাম। মহিলা সমিতি করতে করতে এতদিন পরে দীর্ঘ 10-12 বছর করার পরে আমি ওই সমাজে মহিলাদের সাথে কাজ করতে লাগলাম। ওই অ্যাডাল্ট এডুকেশন করলাম, আবার মহিলা নির্যাতনের বিরুদ্ধে আরও মেয়েদেরকে নিয়ে আরও তাদের বিরুদ্ধে লড়তে লাগলাম, আন্দোলন করলাম। আন্দোলন করার পরে এই যে সামাজিক কাজগুলো করেছি, এই সামাজিক কাজগুলো দেখার পরেই আমাকে পঞ্চায়েতের সদস্য করলো। সদস্য করার পরে আমি এই প্রথম পঞ্চায়েতে সদস্য হলাম, আবার প্রথম প্রধান হলাম।
Once elected Sarpanch, Archana made it her mission to make the village 100% literate. For that to be achieved, she had to start with the adults first. A massive adult literacy awareness program was launched. Her efforts paid off, and today the village boasts of a 92% literacy rate.
পঞ্চায়েতের কথা শুনে আমরা সাক্ষরতায় গিয়ে লেখাপড়া শিখেছি। আমরা যদি লেখাপড়া শিখি আমাদের ছেলেরা কিছু শিক্ষা হবে, আমরা কিছু বুঝতে শিখব। ছেলে মেয়েরা লেখাপড়া না শিখলে, আমরা না লেখাপড়া শিখলে আমাদের ছেলে মেয়েরাও শিক্ষা হবে না।
For Archana, it took decades of exposure to public life before she could have the confidence to become a Sarpanch. But Suvidha Yadav found herself in the driver's seat almost overnight. She lives in Aklempur village in the Alwar district of Rajasthan. Suvidha was a young girl when her father died in the Indo-Pakistan War of 1971. He was a soldier. Her father's letters from the front made a deep impression, instilling in her a strong sense of patriotism and the need to do something for the community. Her chance came 2 years ago when Panchayat elections were held. The seat fell under those reserved for women. Suvidha was young and inexperienced in public life. She also had a 3-month-old baby and wasn't sure whether she should take the plunge or not. Surprisingly, it was her father-in-law, a freedom fighter, who convinced her that this was her chance to serve the community.
मैंने 50 साल पहले अपना देश की सेवा के लिए, अपनी आज़ादी के लिए लड़ाई लड़ी थी। उसके 50 साल बाद में मेरी बहू जो गांव की सेवा कर रही है, और मुझे इस बात से बहुत खुशी है, बहुत गर्व है।
हमने सोचा कि भाई दोनों मिल के जो है ना इसको एडजस्ट कर लेंगे, और दोनों मिल के जो है ना पारिवारिक घर का जो काम है उसको करेंगे, तो इसको जो है ना अपन बखूबी से निभा सकते हैं, आगे चला सकते हैं इसको, सरपंची को। इसके काम में कहीं जो है ना रुकावट पैदा नहीं होने देंगे।
Suvidha lives in Rajasthan, a state that has the dubious distinction of nurturing the worst social indicators as far as the female sex is concerned. It has the lowest female literacy rate, the highest number of child marriages, a big son preference ratio, and the highest rates of female infanticide. Suvidha's village is so strongly patriarchal that village women are forced to hide their faces behind the veil at all times, and they have no voice in village matters. It was not easy for Suvidha, who had to fight tradition when she stepped out of her home. She remembers her first days as Sarpanch when she was still finding her feet as a woman leader.
रूम में मैं जब बैठती थी तो पर्दा करके बैठती थी और बोलती थी। पहले तो मतलब इन इलेक्शनों से पहले मैं किसी से नहीं बोलती थी, न किसी से बात वगैरह करती थी, हमेशा पर्दा रखती थी। लेकिन इलेक्शनों के बाद से पर्दा मतलब मीटिंग में तो करती नहीं हूँ, और बाहर आने के बाद पर्दा करती हूँ गांव के अंदर, और मीटिंग में नहीं करती।
Empowering women like Suvidha is a great challenge. They have to be convinced of their potential and capacity to govern. They need inspiration, ambition, and the confidence to take decisions which they know to be right. Sometimes it takes many such workshops to make women leaders aware of their rights and responsibilities. Jamunia village in Madhya Pradesh's Sehor district. Meet Geeta Rathod, who was first elected Sarpanch in 1994. She too was unaware of what it all meant. To start with, Geeta Rathod's life revolved around her family. In 1994, the Sihor seat in Madhya Pradesh came up for election, and her husband persuaded her to stand. While her father-in-law and husband were already involved in district-level politics, no woman in the family had ever stepped out of the home and into public life.
पहले मैं पंचायत में जब शुरू में आई थी, जब मेरे को कुछ भी नहीं मालूम, 1-2 साल तक तो कुछ भी मालूम नहीं पड़ा। इसके बाद में जो समर्थन संस्था है, स्वयंसेवी संस्था, वो यानी हम लोगों से जुड़ गए। जुड़ने के बाद में उन लोगों ने हम लोगों को सलाह दी कि यानी आप लोगों के अधिकार क्या क्या हैं, यानी कर्तव्य क्या क्या हैं, यानी सब लोग उन्होंने यानी आके हम लोगों को ट्रेनिंग भी दी। उनने ट्रेनिंग से क्या हम लोगों को में मजबूत यानी हिम्मत आई।
लोन मिल जाएगा?
हाँ, मिल जाएगा।
भैंस का मिल जाएगा?
हाँ, भैंस का मिल जाएगा। फायदा तो होता है ना। परिवार अच्छा यानी चल रहा है।
That was 7 years ago. Today, Geeta Rathod comes across as a confident and mature leader. She settles family disputes, teaches villagers to keep their drains clean, and cajoles women to speak out loud. In her first year as Sarpanch, Geeta had a lot to learn about the rights of villagers. How are funds for development work accessed? How does the legal and political system work? More importantly, she had to learn to deal with patronizing men and their discriminating behavior. She had to survive in what was considered a male domain. And survive, she did. In the elections that followed, she defeated male candidates and won. The seat was no longer reserved for women. Positive discrimination under Panchayati Raj has increased the percentage of women at the lower levels of the political pyramid from 4% before the amendment to 25 to 40% after it. Today there are over 7 lakh women elected to panchayats. They've campaigned successfully, defeated male candidates, and shattered the myth that they are not interested in politics. But each success story is outweighed by stories of women who continue to be suppressed, discredited and humiliated simply because they wanted to play a greater part in a political process traditionally considered a male citadel. A woman in Gujarat was beaten up because she wanted to stand for Sarpanch. Another was abandoned by her husband and children because she wanted to run for public office. Yet another woman was publicly humiliated because she dared raise her voice against men in the village. But there is hope. Sarpanches like Suvida prove that it's possible for women to play a positive role outside their homes by running their village the way they would run their homes, with affection and discretion. On becoming Sarpanch, Suvida undertook the laying of irrigation pipes in a water-scarce area. She knew that low water levels affected agriculture and that a long-term solution was needed. A few days after construction began, villagers instigated by a male rival disrupted work. A fight ensued. The Sarpanch was threatened, corruption alleged, machinery confiscated, and development work stayed. They did everything they could to discredit her. What they didn't expect was for this seemingly naive village woman to stand up to them. Just 26, Suvida had only recently been elected Sarpanch, but she was not intimidated. Instead, she was determined to see the work completed. Suvida petitioned district authorities and state-level officials. Their lukewarm and indifferent response didn't put her off. She persisted for nearly 6 months, writing letter after letter to the press and concerned authorities. Finally, her perseverance paid off. The troublemaker was hauled up and forced to publicly apologize to Suvida and the villagers. The work resumed and was completed soon after. Suvida emerged, a determined leader prepared to join issue with her detractors to fight injustice. Having a woman as Sarpanch empowers other women in the village. In fact, Studies have shown that while most women sarpanches tend to focus on infrastructural development, they are effective agents of social development as well. In her first term, Geeta Rathod was yet to realize the actual power she wielded. Her efforts were concentrated only on infrastructure development, like the building of roads and a school. But one night, something happened that changed her and her job profile forever. Geeta was among a small group of women who had gathered near the village temple for a ceremony. Suddenly, a young girl rushed in, shouting hysterically. Her father, she said, had tied up her mother and was beating her mercilessly. The women didn't want to interfere in what they thought was a family dispute. Geeta insisted that they had to do something. Leading the group, she rushed to the girl's home. So enraged was she that without thinking of the consequences, she grabbed the man and thrashed him with the help of the other women. This was not the first time that Savita had been beaten by her husband. It happened often. She had no idea of how to deal with it until Geeta Rathod stepped in and convinced her to file a police complaint and seek judicial intervention. The incident served as a message to the men folk of the village. No longer would women tolerate violence or abuse. Something changed that night, not only for Geeta Rathod, but for the women of her village as well. They felt truly empowered and realized that it was within their power to put an end to abuse, or at least take the first step towards that end. Geeta's focus has now shifted from purely development work to issues like alcohol abuse, education, health and domestic violence. She was instrumental in setting up an Anganwadi in the village so that young children can be cared for in the mornings, thus freeing the girl child to attend school. A simple and effective aid to female literacy. Today, Jamunia has more girls than boys in the classroom.
हमारी सरपंच बहुत अच्छी है कि वो गरीबों का भी वो करती हैं और अमीरों का भी काम सुनती हैं.
Male sarpanches tend to overlook these facets of social engineering.
मेला में जागृति आई है तो वो अपने बच्चों को पहले शिक्षा के लिए नहीं भेजती थी, वो गंदगी से रहती थी और ये सब, तो हम लोगों ने उन लोगों को समझाया कि एक महिला अपने घर की साफ सफाई, बच्चों की साफ सफाई करना, उन्हें स्वास्थ्य, अपने उनका स्वास्थ्य देखना, उनको स्कूल भेजना, ये सब पहले नहीं होता था. अब जब से मैं सरपंच बनने के बाद में ये सब जागृति आई महिलाओं में.
वो यही सुधार होगा कि कहेंगे तुम्हारा पति दारू पी के आया तो रात को मारो, क्या ज्यादा गड़बड़ करे तो मारो. इनने तो बस मार्शल कानून लगा दिया गांव में.
Thousands of kilometers away in West Bengal, Sarpanch Archana is well aware of the power of social change. She lives in an area where women are literate and empowered to speak out. On becoming Sarpanch, her real challenge was to prove that she was capable of coming up with innovative solutions to local problems. Her chance came in a rather awkward way. Every evening, when women returned from their fields, they were harassed by a group of drunkards who had occupied a desolate stretch of land on the outskirts of the village. They complained to their woman Sarpanch.
ঠিক আছে, তোমরা আজকে বাড়ি যাও, আমি কালকে দেখছি ওদের কি ব্যবস্থা করতে পারি. আজকে তোমরা বাড়ি চলে যাও.
Archana could have handed over the men to the police, but that was not her style. She was looking for a long-term solution. At the next Panchayat meeting, Archana suggested that the barren stretch be converted into a productive forest. The villagers agreed and got together to plant saplings, thus forcing the Eve teasers out and earning the village women a reprieve. The village was soon surrounded by thick green cover, and the woman Sarpanch earned loads of respect from her voters. Archana is known for her enterprising ways and far-sightedness. Besides implementing government schemes, Archana decided to supplement village income in an innovative way. In collaboration with the forest department, the Panchayat decided to protect the sal forest encircling the village. Tribal women were then encouraged to pluck leaves of the sal tree and convert them into disposable plates to be sold on the local market. Forest produce also helps sustain the lives of the Santal tribals who inhabit the area. Now there's more money for other work like the bridge project. The bridge is a lifeline for people and goods. It's not been easy for these women. There were social stigmas to be battled, family pressures to be withstood, and confidence to be created before they could step into the Panchayat and prove their worth. There's pressure on them to rubber stamp the decisions of men and to allow the men to take financial and budget decisions. But that's a small part of the battle. The war ultimately is against the mindset. Geeta has developed a charming way of dealing with male chauvinism. At Panchayat meetings, when faced with criticism, she resorts to humor and logic to diffuse heated arguments. 7 years of being a sarpanch has matured her outlook.
कोई भी काम करते हैं, कोई भी विकास कार्य हुआ या शिक्षा का कार्य हुआ या कुछ भी हुआ गांव में, जो भी निर्णय लेना तो सब लोगों के बीच में लेना। इसीलिए ना जो सब लोगों के बीच में जो निर्णय लेते हैं तो वो मजबूत रहता है। यदि मैं अपने अकेला निर्णय लेती हूँ तो सबको विरोध होता है। इसीलिए हम लोग क्या करते हैं कि अपने सब लोग से पूछते हैं कि ये काम होना चाहिए या नहीं होना चाहिए और क्या होना चाहिए सबसे पहले। तो जो सबसे पहले यदि अपन ने लोगों की बात नहीं मानी तो वो विरोध करेंगे, और अपन सबकी बात मानते हैं तो वो विरोध तो होगा ही नहीं।
नई नई थी जब तो उन्होंने विरोध रची ली, अब वो 7 साल हो गए। अब 7 साल में 5 साल तक तो अच्छा काम किया, और फिर अब 2 साल में कि अब तो सरपंच ही हम, करना क्या हमें, यूँ रुचि उनकी कमजोर हो।
अभी 2 साल हुआ है, लोग कह रहे हैं 2 साल में काम कम हुआ है, लेकिन अभी 3 साल बाकी है। तो अगर पूरा 5 साल हो जाएगा तब हम ये कह सकते हैं कि पिछले 5 साल की तुलना में इस 2 साल में काम कम हुआ है।
जब 1 लाख रुपया बाबा आपने कुआं पे कर दिया तो कनेक्शन खातर थोड़ी बहुत तो सहायता करनी पड़ेगी।
In Akhlempur, Rajasthan, Suvida faces tougher opposition. Being young and new to the system is not helping her at all.
कोई विरोध करता है तो ये महसूस होता है कि बिगर विरोध के तो कोई काम किया जाता है तो पता ही नहीं लगता कि हमने काम भी करवाया है। और अगर कोई विरोध करता है और फिर हम उस काम को करते हैं तो एक मजा सा आता है कि हाँ हमने काम करके दिखाया, और वो लोग अपने आप फिक्के पड़ते चले गए। 2-3 कामों में ऐसा हुआ, लेकिन अब वो कोई हमारे सामने नहीं बोलते हैं। पीछे से चाहे कोई कुछ भी कहे लेकिन सामने नहीं कहते हैं।
Suvida takes the opposition in her stride. At the end of the day, her greatest challenge is to rise above petty politics and focus developmental issues. Suvida believes other women have been encouraged to come forward with their problems. She encourages them to attend Panchayat meetings and talks about issues like child marriage, female infanticide and female literacy.
महिला में ये परिवर्तन आएगा कि हमें भी बाहर जा सकते हैं, किसी से बात कर सकते हैं, आवाज़ उठा सकते हैं कि ये महिला जैसे सरपंच बनी है वैसे हमें भी बन सकते हैं।
Compared to Suvidha, Archana is a more aggressive leader. She is not easily intimidated by men and that has earned her respect.
আপত্তি ছিল না, আমার মনের মধ্যে আপত্তি বলতে এরকম একটা আপত্তি ছিল যারা কাজটা করতে পারবে কিনা, কাজটা উঠিয়ে আনতে পারবে কিনা। কিন্তু পরবর্তীকালে তো আমার মনে হয় যে আমাদের পুরুষদের চেয়ে কোনো অংশে তারা কম না।
সহযোগিতা না করতে তাহলে মহিলারা কি করে আমরা উপরে যাব? এই সহযোগিতা আমাদের এখানে পুরুষদের সহযোগিতা ভালোই আছে।
Archana's Panchayat is outstanding not only for its good work, but because all its 11 members are women. It's among the few all-woman panchayats in the country. Each of these women is from a different caste, and they prove that it's possible to rise above caste divides. On a personal level, there's a greater degree of self-esteem and confidence. Today they take decisions, control finances, resolve disputes, and encourage other villagers to participate in community work. Geeta, Archana and Suvidha's experience has shown that power is not something that the powerful are prepared to share. It has to be worked at and sometimes extracted. Bringing women into power is not only a matter of correcting imbalances. It's about giving women their share and involving them in the socio-economic and political development of the country. The path Archana, Geeta and Suvidha have trodden is not easy. It's strewn with hurdles and obstacles, but they are prepared to battle on as they have found their calling and taken their destiny into their own hands. May their tribe increase.
मेरे मन में था कि मैं कुछ करके दिखाऊं, कुछ करूं।
एक महिला होने के नाते अपना परिवार तो संभाल ही रहे हैं, तो गांव को भी संभालना पड़ता है।
আমি পরবর্তীকালেও জনগণ যদি আমাকে আরো চাই তাহলে আমি পরবর্তীকালেও এই কাজে আমি আমার নিজের জীবনকে নিয়োগ করব।